Good evening, everybody. My name's Peter Pedersen. I'm broadcasting this tutorial on teaching practice from the studios in Cornerstone Institute in Salt River. I see at the moment it's only Salt River who are in here hooked up, but we sure hope that shortly all the other, or some of the other CLCs will also be joining us as well. The tutorial tonight is all about teaching practice, and I want to just give you some information about the teaching practice that will just make it easier for you in terms of teaching practice as well. By its very nature, tonight's tutorial deals, it's a combination of A, B, and C all together. I know there were a lot of students who completed teaching practice B or last semester, and so they will then go on and do teaching practice C, hopefully in this next semester. And it is my wish and desire in this time to try and help you prepare for that time in practice in the schools as well. I'm going to just start off with a video and to show you something of bad practice in this video. Look at this video, view the video, and look at the bad practice in the video here.
Mr. Grimes, mathematics teacher, is displeased with the progress of his 9th grade class in mathematics.
You see what low grades you made on your weekly mathematics test? More than half of you failed. Most of those who passed just got by. Nobody had 100%. This is the poorest class I've had in a long, long time. Most of you have no foundation at all. Now the trouble's with your attitude. You don't pay enough attention in class. You don't do enough work outside of it. You don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea. Don't you realize that mathematics is an important subject? I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits and come up to the standards I set for this class, many of you will have the pleasure of repeating this course next semester. Well, what is it?
Mr. Grimes, mathematics teacher, is displeased.
I hope you've
with the progress of his
you viewed that video clip. It's a very short video, but hopefully you saw a number of the mistakes that were committed in that video there as well. Let me just go back here to screen save. Sorry, I just got the wrong slide, PowerPoint presentation there for you. Okay, so you would have seen in that video clip that there were a number of bad practices that were being exhibited, and hopefully some of them that you picked up were the thing about the language. It was a very belittling type of language that was being spoken by the teacher. The seating arrangement was very straight and down the rows. and that there wasn't much space for student interaction. And then just these very mannerisms also left a lot to be desired. And the general disinterest that was exhibited by the students also gave an indication that he wasn't coming through too clearly. Right, I'm just going to go on and give you some other guidelines about teaching practice and about the instructions that are important for it. And for this, I've prepared a PowerPoint presentation. And I'm just going to go through this PowerPoint presentation very quickly. This PowerPoint presentation is on Funda, so you can observe it from there. Alright, so the first one is just the guideline, and then just some general aspects, general information. Obviously, teaching practice is an important part of our program. It's important that you realize that you need to go to a variety of schools, and also that you need to go to 3 different schools, right? If you're in a teaching position now, I would suggest that you consider staying there for teaching practice 3. And then the last point is what I really want to emphasize, is that if you need help with teaching practice, you're struggling to get into a school, or you're not making much progress there, then please ask me. I'm more than willing to help you. Right. There's a module outline under resources for you. When you go into the school, try out new ideas, talk to the tutor, teacher, and try things out. Try the new methods out. People will be far more forgiving of you as a student teacher than what they will be as one day when you are the teacher. Be innovative and creative in your teaching. This is an exciting time for you, and you can do a lot of things there as well. It's important to remember that you are the guest of the school, and that therefore, even though you are on the staff, offer to become involved in sport and the extramural activities, because you want to act and behave in such a manner that the school will want you back as a teacher one day. And then just very briefly, the 3 types of teaching practices and the focus for each of them are on this slide. Remember, teaching B must be teaching A and teaching B must be 2 weeks consecutively, and you need to have a gap between each of those 3 teaching practices as well. You can't just go to schools for 8 consecutive weeks. There needs to be at least a 1-week gap between them, because it's very important that you gain information and build up your experience as well. Reflection is such an important part of teaching. And then there are assignments that are for each teaching practice. You need to submit those assignments. I suggest you submit them under different files, and also you can email them to me, but just maybe you need to break up the files a bit, and so that they can get through to me as well. And then in teaching B and teaching practice C, there's a research proposal. There's a PowerPoint for research proposal and an article under resources of teaching practices B and C. You are advised to read those as well. Right, so that then takes us to the teaching practice. Just some other things And I think you, oops, sorry, I'm just getting it back here. Right, and then just some other points about the teaching practice that's important that I need to explain to you as well. Make sure that you organize your dates early with the schools. Right, there's nothing more frustrating for schools than to have students come at a time that's not really that convenient for them. But make sure that you have your dates and that you make your own arrangements with the schools as well. Make sure as well that you attend 3 different schools for your teaching practice. I refer you to the module outlines under resources. There's also other documents there under resources that you can consult as well. Ensure that you take the Practum agreement, and that is signed by the school, because that is the agreement between Cornerstone and the school that they will allow you to do your teaching practice there. And then that agreement is, the school then faxes it back to me there at Cornerstone. You need to submit your assignments as well, and we've spoken about those already. You will also note that there's sample lessons found under resources too. There are 2 sample lessons there, plans. You're welcome to use either of those, or if you wish, you may construct your own lesson plan that you feel most comfortable with as well. The journal is an important aspect of the teaching time, as it's a time of reflection for you as well. And then I want to just show you this. This is what the first page of the teaching practice looks, what your teaching practice looks like in Funda. Right? This is just happens to be teaching practice A, but the others are all the same. Right, now you will note here that the menu on the left-hand side has changed somewhat since last semester. There are no more assignment tests and surveys. It's only assignment that is given there, right? And then over here, all the other documents in that are in this part of under title, under the folder of teaching practice A, and all you need to do is to click on those, and then you can see what information you need there. This distant learning ED4-A, teaching practice A 2014, that is the module outline, right? So you can remember that for all your other modules as well. Distant learning is your module outline as well. Furthermore, you can go to your menu and you'll click under module outline, and then there is the module outline for you as well. I've placed it under 2 places for you, so to make it easy for you to access the module outline and get the information too. I think also what is important while I've got this slide up is just for the new students. I want you to please complete this questionnaire and then just email it back to me, so that I can just get information about you, and then we take it from there. And then also for all students, there's a true or false quiz that you can do here as well, and that might be of interest to you as well. Please do not send it back to me. It's just for your purposes, and you can go with it there. Right, there are also videos for you to look at, and teaching practice guidelines, which I've just spoken about earlier. They are over there too. In practice B and C, there's also a section for research proposals and PowerPoint presentations. Please, people, look at that and follow those guidelines. There's also a section on academic guidelines about writing academic papers and how to reference articles and other books in your literature review, and that. Follow those things there too. All right, so I want to just go on and just talk briefly about the talk briefly about the research proposals. All right, if you just give me some time. Now this PowerPoint presentation is on Funda for you in practice B and C, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to show you a couple of the slides at the beginning that are important here. There's also an article by Vital and Janssen about research, writing up research proposals, and I would advise students who are going to be doing that in teaching practice B that you read that article and watch this video, this PowerPoint to take you through. All right, so Janssen and Vital say that research is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information or data in order to increase our understanding of the phenomena with which we are concerned or interested. And then they go on to explain the various phases of research. They talk about basic and applied research. Basic research is to determine or establish fundamental facts and relationships within a discipline or a field of study. In other words, you develop theories about something or other. Right? So in terms of education, it might be we develop theories how people learn best with certain learning disabilities. Right? And then applied research is you're undertaken specifically for the purpose of attaining information to help resolve a particular problem. So there's a problem. This type of applied research is usually done in the field setting. Basic research is usually done in a laboratory or something of that nature. And then the distinction between the two is basic has little application to the real world policy and management, but could be done to guide applied research. Right? So here are two examples. Here's your basic research being done in a laboratory, scientists or somebody checking something out, and then applied research is a particular problem that they're trying to solve now, and so they do it out in the field with other people as well. All right, another example here. This would be your your basic research in a laboratory, and then this over here would be your applied research out in the field with the bubble. Right, to further examples, looking under catalogue cards in a library for specific references or authors, and then under a family tree, just trying to work out where everything is. The family tree is the applied research. The catalogues would be the basic research as well. Then just some steps in terms of research. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these, but just to let you know that these are the steps that we need to follow in terms of research design. Now, students, if you follow these steps carefully and correctly in your teaching prac B, then it becomes so much easier when in teaching prac C, when you have to actually do your research. So I would strongly urge you to please follow the research steps that are required there. It just makes it so much easier for you as well. All right, I'm just checking if there are any questions from people going in. I haven't seen any questions, but if you want to, you may post questions there. There doesn't look like there are any questions at the moment, but by all means, you can either do it on the Q&A or you can do it in the group chat. I'm just going back to the right steps for research as well. So you choose your topic and you go through those various steps. All right. I think what I must also stress here in terms of the research proposals is that in the past I've had some fantastic research proposals. People have asked me some have investigated some really incredible topics in that. But students, what this whole process of research now in this teaching prac in your ADT year really goes about just following the process. So please, I ask of you that you make it very simple. Keep it to a simple topic, something that you can handle easily, and something that is of interest to you. Something that you think that you would be able to complete in your practice C time at the school. There have been too many people who have tried weird and wonderful research topics, and all of them haven't succeeded just because the topic has got too big for them. You cannot change the whole education department by this research methods here. All right, so it's more just an introduction into research and to see what you can come up with during your research time. So please follow those steps, and if you need more help in that, by all means ask, and I will gladly help you too. And then just some other other information I just need to share with you as well is to make sure that your assignments are sent in, and the due date for the assignments is the 30th of October. By that time, all assignments need to be submitted. Please make sure that you also watch your teaching practice videos on Funda. They will also be important for you. and give you further information as regards to teaching practice there. I'm happy to answer any questions either by group chat or by Q&A, or you can phone in to me or email me tomorrow, whatever, and I will try and respond to your questions that way. I'm just going to be silent for a short while just to see if there are any questions that you want me to answer. It appears as if there's nobody wanting to ask questions. There are 2 viewers out there. I thank you for your attendance here at this tutorial. I just want to assure you that I'm happy to answer questions if you wish to email me at a later stage, and we'll take it from there. I wish you well for your teaching practice. It's always an exciting time, and it's a time when we learn a lot about ourselves, we learn a lot about classrooms, and it's always exciting putting into practice a lot of the information that we learn in our classrooms as well, in didactics and that sort of thing as well. So say thank you for your attendance tonight. It's been really good meeting with you, and I look forward to further interaction at a later time. Thank you.